Hi, Eric here with 30 by 40 Design Workshop. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about ethanol fireplaces. I've been researching these for a project that I'm working on, and I thought I'd share the information that I've been finding. There are two common alternatives to the traditional fireplace, and one of them is the ethanol fireplace, and the other is the gel-fueled fireplaces. So if you're considering purchasing one, here's what you need to know. What is an ethanol fireplace, first of all? An ethanol fireplace is essentially a stainless steel unit composed of a burner tray, a cover or cowling, and typically a protective screen. Because the combustion byproducts of ethanol, at least in a perfect environment, produce only heat, carbon dioxide, and steam, these fireplaces are not required to be vented to the outdoors, and they don't require flue. Their versatility and adaptability appeal to consumers looking to incorporate an affordable fireplace into their living environments. So what are the basic types? There's essentially four types of units. The first one is burners. Seen in this image on the shelf, the burner is a tray that holds the fuel and regulates the fire. It's usually made of stainless steel. The burners can be set in almost any non-combustible substrate. Here, the architect has used concrete. Square, round, and linear burners are the most common, but a few manufacturers offer corner options too. The second type are inserts. These are metal, again stainless steel is common, boxes that can be recessed into walls. The third type are freestanding units. They're either wall-hung, tabletop, or they're self-supporting. And the last type are retrofit units. These are designed to fit inside an existing fireplace opening, assuming it meets the unit's clearances. These often resemble fireplace grates. So let's look at the pros and cons of the ethanol fireplace. First, we'll start with the pros. They're freestanding and portable. Venting is not required, which minimizes interior heat loss. They are easy to install. There's no flue. Most allow a DIY installation, which saves on installation cost. The freestanding or built-in configurations are also available. No flue conserves interior space and allows urban dwellings to be retrofitted with a fireplace more readily than with a traditional fireplace. It burns cleanly. It's easy to operate. It's low maintenance, meaning there's no ash, there's no chimney cleaning, there's no bulky solid fuels to stack and store. Its environmental impact is low. There's no fumes or smoke. It uses renewable resources as fuel and requires no electricity to operate. The ethanol burners can be adjusted. It's suitable for both indoor and outdoor use. It's a decorative element that, because it's not used for a heat source, can be used year-round. And some models have automatic safety shutoffs and fuel filling features. Okay, so let's look at the cons. It has a limited BTU output, which makes it not ideal as a primary heat source. Could certainly be used as an emergency backup heating source. The ambiance of ethanol flame is actually quite different from flames from a traditional wood fire. There's no crackling or popping with this kind of a fire. It burns cleanly, but given average burning conditions, it's not without indoor pollutants, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, to name a few. A ventilation system is a must to exhaust water vapor, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. It has limited burning times, which means you'll be refueling it more often, which in itself is a task that's not without risk. Combustion requires makeup air to replace the oxygen the fire consumes in a room. And the fuel can be expensive and proprietary depending on the manufacturer and model chosen. So let's talk about fuel. Alternative fireplaces are fueled by either liquid bioethanol or gel alcohol. Bioethanol is made by fermenting plant byproducts like sugarcane and grain with yeast. It's considered an ecologically friendly, carbon-neutral fuel with a minimal carbon footprint, most of which is attributed to shipping it to the end user. Bioethanol, by law, is required to be denatured for consumer use, and a bittering agent must be added to discourage ingestion. After denaturing, it's technically called methylated spirits, and it's dispensed in liquid form. The gel fuels are very similar to chafing dish warmers and hand sanitizer. Essentially, it's isopropyl alcohol. There are two primary differences between liquid and gel fuels. The first is the form factor. Liquid ethanol must be carefully handled during refueling, while the gel cartridges simplify the refueling process and are designed for one-time use. The second difference is how the flame can or can't be controlled. Because liquid ethanol is poured into a burner assembly, it's possible to regulate the flame height and effect by dampening the opening. Gel-fueled fireplaces are binary. They're either on or they're off. So the cost and the duration. The ability to modulate the flame lets the user control the heat output and flame pattern, and can extend the time between refuelings. Gel cartridges last up to 2 hours and cost about $8 each. With ethanol, a 1¼ gallon quantity can be expected to last from 7 hours on the maximum burner setting to up to 20 hours on the minimum burner setting. It costs about $20 per gallon. Are they safe? Well, ethanol and gel fireplaces are required, as are other combustion appliances, to meet UL safety, indoor air quality, and emission standards for ventless fireplaces. Used indoors, ventless appliances do introduce pollutants and expose occupants to them, notably carbon dioxide and small amounts of carbon monoxide. Depending on the quality of the burning condition and fuel impurities, other combustion byproducts may also be present. Common sense should rule when evaluating the safety hazards these appliances pose. Recognizing that anything that burns in our homes, candles, wood stoves, propane heaters, and even cooking appliances can be harmful if we burn things in large doses. The primary function of the alternative fuel fireplace is not to provide space heating. It's not a replacement for a heating appliance. It's purely decorative and for ambiance. Based on current research, using these fireplaces infrequently in a well-ventilated space or outdoors presents an overall minimal health risk for most people. So are they permitted? If you're contemplating a ventless alternative fuel fireplace, your first step should be to contact your local building department. Even in regulation-dense cities, ventless appliances are usually allowed. New York City currently allows at least one cartridge gel-fueled ventless model, manufactured by Hearth Cabinet. That enclosure is self-contained and required to be locked during operation. So where do you install them? Because they don't require a flue, they can be installed in almost any location that meets the model's clearances. Indoors, outdoors, recessed in a table, the options are virtually limitless. Start by determining whether your room size meets the model's minimum. Next, determine the clearances to walls and other combustible construction, again dictated by the model selected. Choose a surrounding material like stone, concrete, tile, or metal to complement the design. Finally, you'll want to provide some means of replacing the air that the fire will consume. Some models come with protective glass screens, while others leave the flame exposed to touch and breezes. If an outdoor fireplace is desired, you'll want to have some means of protecting it from the wind, which can cause problems and incomplete burning of the fuel. Obviously, the open flame options aren't appropriate for households with children. The cost. For burner assemblies, depending on the options you select and the overall length, burner assemblies cost between $500 and $2,500. For fireplace inserts, stainless steel enclosures meant to be recessed in the wall start at about $3,500 and top out around $10,000. Retrofit units to replace an existing fireplace can be found for around $1,000 and are simply slid into place. High-end options like this remote-controlled burner offer the possibility of truly customizing the flame and automating the lighting, extinguishing, and refueling processes. Expect to pay for the convenience, though. Prices start at around $7,000, depending on the length and options selected.